You weren't even supposed to be a part of this band. Well, not at first. The Saja boys had 5 members. That was the magic number. 5 spotlights, 5 harmonies, 5 masks, the perfect illusion. 5 beautiful boys charming the world, draining souls, and bowling to Bnha behind every scene. Then it came you, YN Saja, the only one who didn't fit the mold. Not a demon, not from the underplane, just you. Human, messy, loud, mortal. And somehow irreplaceable. You can't even dance in heels, Abby Saja once muttered, rehearsal, once you'd kicked off your boots and flopped onto the practice floor. Then it's a good thing I'm dancing in combat boots, you shot back, wiping the sweat from your head. Oh no, Mystery said, smirking faintly from his stretched position. Spicy today. To you, ever the graceful leader, clapped once. Focus, people, we debut today. If YN fails on live broadcast, it's all over TikTok by morning. Wouldn't be the first time, Romance Saja added, leaning dramatically against the wall, glancing at his own reflection. But honestly, we need the chaos. It balances out our perfection. You rolled your eyes. You're welcome for being the chaos. Baby, Jinyu called from across the studio. You got 3rd verse. Run it again with YN. Baby Saja tugged his cap lower over his blue-streaked hair. Got it. Don't fall behind, mortal. You smirked. Don't trip over your own ego. The track blasted through the studio again, soda pop, in all its sparkly bubblegum glory. And you were dancing before you could even think. Every beat, muscle memory. Every lyric was second nature. You didn't need wings or magic. You had talent and they knew it. But the world didn't. Not yet. To the fans, you were the 6th member, the, quote, backup dancer, unquote, turned viral sensation. The rumored girlfriend, the token human. But the truth was stranger than fiction. You were the one thing standing between the Saja boys and the full demon collapse. You anchored them and held their hunger in check, reminded them that they used to be before they traded for mortality for spotlight. Romance once joked that your soul probably tasted like chili pepper and starlight. You kicked him in the shin, but you liked that. He said anyway. Do you ever get scared? Mystery had asked you one night, late on the dorm rooftop. You blinked, glancing up at the city. Of what? Stage diving? Of us. He didn't smile this time. Of what we are. The others were asleep during this. Abby curled up on the couch, Baby muttering to himself, Romance talking to himself in the mirror. Just easy. Simple. Domestic. You glanced at Mystery, his long, white lashes catching on the moonlight, his horns faintly visible and with the illusion. I'd be more scared without you guys, he said. He didn't answer, but he nodded. Once you knew, he'd remember it forever. Tonight's stage was different. Bnha was watching. Not just symbolically, literally, his mark pulsed to the back of Jinyu's neck, crawling with every dark fire. Every move had to be perfect, every lyric a spell. Your idol was no longer a performance. It was a feeding. Don't lose focus, Jinyu warned, backstage adjusting your mic. Once the chorus hits, the drain starts. YN, you can stay center, you hold us together. You swallowed. I'm not scared. I know, he said softly. That's why you're one of us. The lights flared and the stage rose, and the fans screamed, and the Saja boys, 6 of them, became gods. It was a flawless show. Abby's flips, Romance eye contact, Mystery's falsetto, Baby's rap, it was electric. And you burned in the center, sharp and alive, fire in your veins as the demon glamour swirled around you. Your idol wasn't just a song, it was a promise, a warning, a dance on the edge of humanity. And when you stood there in the final pose, eyes shining, chest heaving, one boot pressed beside Jinyu's on the final beat, you knew you weren't just the 6th wheel, you were the core, the soul they didn't take but they needed. Later back in the dorm, Baby threw a cushion at you. Stop making us look bad on stage, mortal, he grumbled. You outshined me. You caught the cushion. Impossible. You're literally glowing. I was glowing, he said, pouting. Now I'm dim and I'm bitter. You were incredible, Abby said, flopping beside you. I mean, not me incredible, but you were pretty good. Romance twirled a flower between his fingers. You moved like someone with something to lose. That's beautiful. Tragic. I love it. Besides you, Mystery just handed you water and sat next to you, shoulder brushing yours. Jinyu walked in last, towel over his neck. You held it down. Again, he's satisfied. For now. You leaned your head back on the couch, exhausted and proud. Good. We might just keep you, he added, smiling for real. You better, you replied, raising a brow. I've already got merch. They all laughed, all of them. Demons, idols, monsters, and your best friends. The morning after the show, the dorm was unusually quiet. Not sleepy, not groggy, just silent. Too silent. You stepped out of your room to find Baby and Abby hunched over the kitchen counter, both staring at the dark, smoky crystal pulsating faintly like a heartbeat. Mystery stood in the doorway, arms crossed. Romance sat on the counter, legs swinging, humming something slow and haunting. Jinyu stood with his back to you. What happened? You asked, voice still rough from sleep. Baby glanced at you and then back at the crystal. He's, not happy. You blinked. What? We nailed it last night. We did, Abby said. That's, the problem. You looked around at the boys. I don't get it. How is that a problem? Mystery looked over. You shine too bright. You frowned. So, Jinyu said quietly, turning to face you. He reminded people that we were human once. His eyes, normally warm, were cold and dull, heavy. He swallowed. That's bad? You asked with a questioning tone. To him, Romance said with a hollow smile, you'd known the risks. Of course you had. The Saja boys weren't pop stars, they were demons, and their existence, the strange glamour-wrapped illusion of a celebrity, was a balancing act. Drain too much, and they become monsters. Feel too much, and they become vulnerable. And you were the tether. The reason they still laughed, still teased, and still remembered their real names. He had let you stay, because you had kept them stable, contained. But last night you'd uplifted them, and now the Demon Lord wanted to sever that connection. What does that mean? You asked, heart-thudding. Is he going to... Not yet, Jinyu added, cutting you off. But the message was clear. He sent the crystal with one order. Everyone looked at you. Baby winced. He, wants you off stage. Eureka hitched. Off? You asked. As in out, Abby added. Not part of the performance, not even backstage. Mystery spoke up. He thinks your soul is corrupting us. You stepped back. So that's it, I'm out. No, Jinyu said. You're not, but we need a plan. A good plan. Hours passed, plans were made and torn up and remade. You couldn't focus, you couldn't breathe. Not because of fear, though that was there, but because the thought of not standing with them again burned more than anything. You weren't just human. You were their anchor, and they were yours, and if you were kicked out of this group, it sounds pathetic, but honestly, you didn't know what you were going to do with yourself. So you had to wait. You had to wait and to see if we could come up with a good plan. To see if maybe you could come back on stage. But until then, dread and anxiety would claw at your skin. All there is left to do is wait. To give your soul to time.